know how long it's been since I walked out of the shower and went, some years, hey, maybe I should visit National Hair Centers. You did, didn't you?
I did, 25 plus years ago.
Dave McKenna, who is really one of the representatives of National Hair Center as a senior image consultant. But when we talk about something like growing hair, or I know you have a laser procedure there, you do transplants. Let's talk about that. When you're transplanting hair, goes from where to where?
Exactly. Transplants we're basically moving hair. We're taking hair from one area and moving it to another. And if they bring my before picture, you'll see I don't actually have more hair. I just took hair from this area and moved it up here. And there's a new way, if we can chat about that, there's a new way to do it.
We'll chat about it now.
Okay. It's called FUE.
Oh, FUE.
FUE.
Yeah, what does that stand for?
It stands for follicular unit extraction. So what we're doing is we're taking an actual graft or a unit of hair and we're moving it, extracting it one hair at a time. Unlike the sort of old-fashioned way where we did a strip out of the back of what we call the donor area, we're taking them out literally individually and then placing them individually in here. And I've actually had it done.
But if somebody comes into National Hair Center, the location being?
7th Street and Bethany Home Road. We're at 5828 North 7th Street.
Aren't you glad I asked?
I love that. Thank you.
Somebody comes in and they say, tell me about that FUE thing. You're not going to be offended, right?
No. Some people call it that, and I'm okay with that.
Okay, can anybody have a transplant?
Anybody can. The big issue is, are they going to have their expectations met? We don't want to promise this and deliver this.
Good.
So that's what it's all about. So coming in for an evaluation, what we'll be able to do is say, hey, here's where Bob is, here's where Bob wants to be, here's where we can get him.
All right, talk to us about the services, though. So when we come to the location, and maybe for whatever reason, I'm not sold on FUE, I'm not sold on the transplant concept, I want something else. What is it that you offer?
Right, thank you. Full service. We offer literally every process, every method available. I've often said if somebody comes into us and they leave without getting their hair loss problem remedied or fixed, we've done something wrong, because we do every process that's available. And that list is very, very long. Not enough time today to cover that entire list.
Why did you lose your hair?
There's no litmus test for that. I mean, there's a lot of contributing factors. There's stress, there's environment, there's medications, there's menopause, there's genetics. I mean, that's a big role.
What about your family?
No hair loss in my family. Go to a family reunion on either side. I've got a cousin, Richard, from New Hampshire, who has a little bit of hair loss.
But we don't let him come to the parties.
No,
right? Richard, stay home. Isn't that fascinating, though? Because you would expect the entire McKenna family to be bald.
Exactly. And it doesn't hold true. Everybody comes in and they think that they genetically have hair loss, and they don't. I mean, how many people have had, gals have had childbirth and they have some shedding right after childbirth? Very common. Or stress, you lose your job, there's a death in the family. I mean, those are all contributing factors. It isn't the one factor, but they're contributing factors.
But are the processes, though, really within the budget of most families?
I think so. I mean, it ranges depending on what we're going to do, typically from as low as $500 up to as high as $10,000.
So you could start at $500? Really? Now
Sure.
that in itself is fascinating.
Sure, yeah.
Hold on just a second. I got 5 bills put aside.
Let's
okay?
do it.
Well, take a look at this. I don't know whether that means 1 hair or 12. Give me that address again so that I don't go to the wrong place.
Well, and that's at 5828 North 7th Street. We're right on the corner of 7th Street and Bethany Home Road, Central Phoenix.
And if I
Central
come in and say,
location.
I can't decide what I want, you'll help?
Absolutely, that's what we'll do. And you know, another interesting thing, Pat, we literally have people coming from all over the world. I mean, we recently had somebody come from Australia, we had somebody from Singapore, we had London, England, and then, of course, Washington, New York, San Francisco, all over.
And they all congregate at National Hair Center. And can you really blame them with the way they looked before and the way they can look afterwards? This is Pat McMahon.